Well, good morning. It's Patricia Love, your life's cheerleader. How's everybody doing today? How are you, Christine?
I'm doing great, Patricia. Thanks. It's fun to be here with you this morning.
Well, that's great. I'm so excited because this is our monthly live Q&A for Life Cheerleader members. We actually have opened it up this time because we like to let other people see what we do at Life Cheerleader. But typically this is a very, for members only. And it's a great opportunity to ask questions, get those little pesky thoughts out of your mind, to ask us, because we are life coaches. And so we really enjoy getting questions answered to us. So, and I'm also excited because guess what? This is like the first Q&A of 2016.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Can you believe it? It's 2016 and it's going to be an amazing year. I feel it. It's going to be great. I'm positive, and I hope everybody else is out there is positive. I actually see a few people coming on. We're just going to wait here to see if a few more people would pop on here, which is they kind of come through the timeline that we're in here speaking. But I like to give people a chance to get on because it does start. So, Christine, just tell me real quickly, how's your 2016 starting off like as we wait for a few people?
Let's see. So far this year, I would say it's my year of being frugal. I am extending over Christmas. In December, we did a challenge about not going broke. And I'm continuing that on. So far, 2016 is pretty good. I am challenging myself to not go to the store, so if I can help it. And I've done pretty well so far. Let's see, I went to the store yesterday, but it was the pet store. So I am really limiting my shopping. I just, I had to feed the boys. I couldn't let them starve. But I'm working on eating the food that I have in my house and being creative with what I cook and seeing how long I can go before I go out and spend money.
Christine, that's actually a great challenge. And to carry on. I know we did this challenge, like you said, during the month of December so it wouldn't go broke, but it's actually a great way to lifestyle our life, because this is something we want to start saving money because, gosh, time flies, doesn't it? And we want to be able to save money through the years so that we can maybe hopefully relax in retirement eventually someday. But we do need to save money. And it's actually fun. And I'm doing the same thing, just so you know. I'm actually continuing on my challenge for that too. And funny you say that, because I made a specific way of this year is saying I'm not going to go to the store as much. I'm going to really buy and then take a certain amount of dollar to the store and use that $20 or $25, whatever, and really maybe stretch my brain a little bit of how I can stretch that dollar a little bit. And then the other day I was like, I should go to the store and pick up this. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because I have stuff at home still. And there's no reason to get this. I can use this without that. So I think that's a great challenge to carry forward through January, February, through the whole year, for the rest of our life. Because as we go through life, all of these things that we challenges and all these videos and all these things we do, this is not just one-time things anyway. These are things that we need to learn and carry on with as a new lifestyle. So I think that's awesome. So kudos for you. So maybe we'll have to talk about, when we start to starve, right? Like, no, I'm not going to the store. Darn it, I'm not going to the store today.
I know. In fact, I'm out of milk, and I do this thing with cream. It's kind of a funny story, but I only use a tiny little bit of cream in 1 cup of tea every day. And so if I buy cream, it goes bad. So I've started freezing it in like ice cube shapes. And then I use like little pieces in my cream. So I have just a little bit of cream left and I'm out of milk. And so, yeah, I think at some point, I'm going to have to go back to the store, but I think I'll do what you were saying. Like I'll challenge myself with a certain amount of money and I won't go over that, and then see what I can get, and then really only get those few things that I actually need. Not, oh, those chips look yummy.
Well, I think that's why they say don't go to the store while you're hungry.
Yes.
Maybe have some spinach or protein or something before you go so you feel full, because that does make a difference. But I got to tell you, I want to kudos to you. That's a brilliant idea with the cream.
Oh.
Because some people waste money on milk and things like that. And by freezing that as ice cubes, and yeah, you might have to put two ice cubes in if it gets a little watery. I don't know. But that's a brilliant idea that I think we need to, maybe start making a list of all these brilliant ideas for people in saving money. I think that'd actually be a great thing, to put inside the website, because, so many people are always wondering, well, how can I save money? How can I do this? And there's so many little teeny ideas that we have, and sometimes we do automatically that we need to share with others. So I see we have several people on now, which is great. So I want to also tell that to the people that are on, that are joining us. Hey, if you guys got some ideas, especially the members, bring them to us and let us know so we can maybe put them in the website so other people can learn how to save money too. This is all about lifestyle change for the better.
Definitely. And I think what really inspires me at times too is I really don't like wasting things. So I would buy milk or cream, and then half of it would go bad before I used it all. So I think for me that it's like saving money, and it's also just being a good steward of products, like especially when it's an animal product. For some reason, I have an extra feeling about all of if we think about all of the time and energy and even the food that goes into feeding the cows, all of that, and then I put it in my fridge and then I throw it away, that's something I have trouble living with. Like, it just seems like so much waste. It's not that I wasted $2 on some milk. It's that all of the energy and everything that went into that production of that product. It makes me want to find ways to not be wasteful.
Christine, I'm in complete agreement. And actually, one of our people on chat actually also stated, stick to the list of what's needed. But I agree with that. Don't buy more than you really need, because I feel the same way, that when I feel like I've thrown something away, I feel, oh my God, I could have just fed somebody. Yeah. I could have helped somebody else. And that is all a part of becoming part of the world, and actually understanding that what you do and what you save can help somebody else by not wasting money or wasting food and this stuff, because we have to do our part. And even, those little things you think, oh, it doesn't make a difference. It's only $1's worth of lettuce or $1. That could have helped somebody. That could have fed somebody. I know when I was really down and out and, really saving money because I had no choice when I went to the grocery store, I really stretched those lettuces and this because I wanted to be sure. And I did make sure that if I needed to go to the store a couple times, that's okay, because actually that's getting out. That's, it's doing a little exercise. So what if I'd only go once, or 3 times a week instead of once a week? And even my children, which again, as everybody knows, who know me, is my 2 kids, my 2 cats, even they we have to be frugal with them, because it's not being necessarily cheap. I just think it's smart, and not only saving us money, but we're also putting a little bit of saving to the world, because there was a big deal of showing, the climates, and I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but the global warming and all this stuff, it's really happening. And we need to be really conscious for the next generation. So I think it's a really awesome thing to really start thinking about. So kudos for us. So anybody on chat have any questions? If people have come on, if you've got questions, please put them in. This is where we love to answer questions. And like I've said earlier today, we opened it up to other people so that they could see what we do here at Life's Cheerleader. And look, we have a beautiful tail here, I see.
Yeah. Nobody could see that but you, so I'll have to show you. I have a partner here, and he's helping out. This is Turk. So we're wondering how your 2016 has already started. We did kind of go on a little tangent of our own with, but I think that was good too. But so in the chat, if you'd like to tell us kind of what are the things that are going on for you this year? What are your plans? What are your goals? What is 2016 going to turn into for you? We'd love to know.
Yeah, and what is it, something maybe that you want to focus on? Something that you feel that you need to focus on, that you're feeling maybe not as good about. Maybe you've really worked on certain areas. Maybe you're really good with money. Maybe you're good at certain things, but maybe there's a couple areas that you want to work on. We'd love to hear about those, because that way both Christine and I can actually not only address them now, but address them in different videos and address them in different things that we can help you with. Because this, at Life's Cheerleader, it's all about helping you and supporting you for you to have a better lifestyle and a better life and a happier life. Because that's what it's all about, is being happy with ourselves. And we all have to focus on things. And while we're waiting for things to kind of come on, some questions. You know what? We never stop learning. I have to tell you, the other day, and as much as I talk about, I talk about words a lot. I talk about, choosing words and positivity and our thought process of choosing words. The other day, I had actually somebody talking to me, and I kept saying, oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. And this person stopped me and says to me, you keep saying I'm right, but what does that make you? And I'm like, I'm wrong. And he goes, it would be better if you would say, I agree, or you have a good point. And I never thought of it. Subconsciously, I was telling myself I was wrong, I'm wrong, And and again, you never, no matter what we learn and what we're teaching, we always can learn something. And it made me, again, become aware. And I think as we talk about learning anything in lifestyle, that it's really important that we become aware, and we'll talk about that in a second. Do we have a question here?
Well, we do have someone put in one of their goals for 2016 is learning how to be a better friend. And I love that, because friendship is really an important part of our lives. And if we want to have good friends, we need to be good friends. So I think that's a really exciting goal for 2016. And that's something that Patricia and I could even do a class or some quick videos on, or something too, because it goes along with what you were just saying, Patricia. It's that we're always learning, and we always want to be learning.
Yes, we always want to be in that growth area. We always want to stretch ourselves just a little bit more. So that's a great goal for the year. And it's interesting, Christine sent me a wonderful TED Talk the other day, and just about this, about relationships, about community, that we do need it. And really, and that kind of addresses too, not only that, but how do we become part of that community? How do we become a good friend? And sometimes it's hard, because we sometimes have to take the first step and reach out. And I think that's probably one of the key things that I would say, and you can address this too, Christine, is just first reach out and let that person know that you're there. That's a start. Because sometimes we just assume that they know. And I think that's well, there's that saying that when you assume something, it makes an ass out of you and an ass out of me. So we never want to assume anything. Sorry for the words, but we want to just make sure that we support person, but sometimes again, we have to reach out. Do you want to just address that and maybe give a tip for that person that's asking the question?
Well, I think there's a lot of keys behind being a good friend, and you're right. Like reaching out, and one of the things that I've heard over and over again is, as adults, it can be difficult to reach out, and even when somebody's like hurting or they need help, we have this tendency to just say, "Let me know how I can help you." And when somebody needs help, that's almost one of the worst things you can say. It is actually, because then it puts the burden back on them that they need to figure out, oh, well, okay, maybe you could do this or you could do that. And so even if it's not the right thing to do, it's not exactly what they needed. When we come up with our own ideas of how to help someone and say, hey, I want to bring you some dinner, or hey, I want to take you to do this, or when we come up with that actual idea and we reach out with that, it is a lot more powerful, and it makes the person feel a lot better. So that's probably one of the first things we can do. The hard part about that is that it makes us feel vulnerable to do something like that. And I think that is one of the hard parts of friendship. Building new friendships as adults is a really vulnerable place to be. Like, we're putting ourselves out there. We're saying, hey, I think you're kind of neat. I'd like to be your friend. It just feels awkward. We don't have, dolls or toy trucks to
I do.
Well, yeah, but it's, it's not like, hey, come over and let's play American Girl. It's like, it's a little bit different. And so we have to be a little vulnerable when we make friendships as adults. And so we have to get comfortable with that. I think that's a big piece of it. Like, we have to know, yes, this is a little awkward and uncomfortable, but it's something I want to do, and it's going to be worth it.
I'm going to add one thing to that too, is being a good listener.
Yeah.
I think being a good friend, or reaching out and being a better friend, is actually listening to the person, because in some cases, and actually most cases, I would say, people end up resolving their issues or things on their own, and not always, but sometimes they just want to talk about it.
Yeah, and they don't need us to solve it.
Yeah, we need to listen and just not judge. I mean, just listen and take it in, and I see your point. Just let them talk. That's, I think, being a good friend. And so that's another thing that this person who's asked this question can take away from that. But I think this would be a wonderful little class, maybe a video or two class on friendships and things like that. So that's something that we will take it to heart and we'll look into. Mm-hmm. So we also have go ahead, Christine.
Oh, I was just going to add, I think there's even more pieces to being a good friend, because I think sometimes I personally have had the tendency to go kind of the other direction and give too much. So there's about balance, right? And there's and boundaries, and we have to learn sometimes what is a good friend and what is being taken advantage of, because I think sometimes that a person can think, I'm a good friend to everybody, and they're not a good friend to me. And that kind of feeling usually has to do with setting appropriate boundaries. So that was just another thing I thought of too.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things we can, get into on this, obviously, because it's kind of a big area. And you're right, we do have to balance, because it's really easy to give, and then you start feeling you're being taken advantage of. So, and that, again, we kind of go back to awareness and being aware of what people are doing. And it's amazing. The word awareness is it is a big part of our lifestyles. If we really truly become aware of people and how they're talking and what they're doing, it really can create a better lifestyle for us too. So that's just another word I want you to kind of really keep in your dialogue or in your brain and your thoughts, is awareness as you go through 2016. Because by being more aware every single day about everything, it really opens up a lot of yourself and how you approach things. So that's just another way. So let's see, we have another quick question here, and it's, I want to forgive, but I just don't know where to start. That's a big question. And the one thing that I can say to this, and that's, again, that's going to be probably, we do have some videos and we have some things, articles on this, but I want to give you one big tip for forgiveness. And I find that it really helps is, first off, you know, I always want to say when you forgive, we're never saying you're going to forget, depending on what's going on or what's happening. But a lot of it, we just need to stop talking about it. Sometimes we talk about it, talk about the, you know, the what this person did, and then it just eats you up and it takes all your energy away from you. And by continually talking about it, and I'm not saying that you can't chat about it to the right people, but it's when we constantly, daily and day in and day out, are talking about it, that it takes our energy so away from us and brings us back into the past, that we need to learn to just stop talking about it. And that's just a tip. Now that's, again, it's a lot more deeper and more involved than that, but it's important to, once you kind of get through, like, okay, you've acknowledged it, you've talked about it, now we need to stop bringing it to the main level here, because otherwise it just will eat you up if you're not careful. So that's probably one of my first things I would just say, hey, we'll go down the first path of just acknowledging it, chat about it, and then we have to stop talking about it so we can move forward. Because let me tell you, when you can't forgive, and the energy that you are taken away from your past, you will not move on. You'll stay you will not go into the present or move into the future. And that's all we really have, is the present and the future. We cannot, you know, and time is short. I'm 63, guys. Time is short. Christine is young in her 40s, but time is short. I remember when I was in my 40s. Oh my God. Life is short, and we really need to learn to live and be in the present and move forward and not let anybody take our energy away from us. So that's what I'll just approach that. There's definitely a deeper level on forgiveness. So, but we'll maybe, you know, do some other videos on those kinds of things. So any other questions you see here, Christine?
Well, I could just add a little bit to that forgiveness concept.
Please.
There's what you're talking about, Patricia, there's a psychological term called ruminating. And I think we've talked about that before, where you're just kind of chewing on something over and over again. And it does steal your energy, and it pulls you backward. And so I think one of the tips that I can share about forgiveness is, for me, I've really had to work on seeing that person who hurt me as a flawed human, just like I am, because I'm a flawed human. And so being able to see them as multidimensional helps me with that healing of things. Because anytime I turn a person into a villain, it makes me a victim. And so we create those roles, and we don't have to have those roles in our lives. Somebody who behaved very badly is more than that behavior. And I think that has been a big key for me in learning how to forgive and how to let go and how to do what Patricia's talking about. Not thinking about it, not ruminating, not chewing on it over and over again, but really be able to move forward with where I want my life to be.
Absolutely. I love that word, chewing on it. You know, we just don't want to chew on it. We just, we got to, again, we don't forget about these things. We just don't need to chew on them. and keep it simple. So looks like we got about 5 more. God, time flies. And,
Oh yes, and we did we did want to talk a little bit today about the video series we have going on right now. We started in December with a series called Lighten Up, and we just gave some tips and ideas on how to lighten up your life. And we had so much fun with it, we decided to keep it going. So you want to talk about that, Patricia?
Yes, thanks for the great reminder. And of course, last month we called the Lightening Up. This month we're kind of calling it Keeping It Light. I love this series because it's just short little tips on how to do things and how to think about things and how to focus on things. I mean, I think the one I went out this morning is choosing your thoughts. And all these videos that we do in these little mini series, because I know that I don't have a lot of attention span. I need short and little mini things, but I want you all to take this to heart. And these videos that they're light and they're kind of funny and they're enjoyable, but they really have meaning behind them. And I really want you to take them to heart, because by taking these little tips that we're giving you and moving and putting them in your life, like I think we talked about, your humor identity was one of them we did. We talked about playing more games last month. We talked about just laughing and faking it till you make it. All these things really push us to how we live our lives. So I really want you all to be aware of these little videos and focus on some of these tips that we're talking about. And like the one that came out today is choosing your words. Just like I talked about that person that, brought me attention to that one word. And really be aware. And I think it's my key word for this year, besides one more: awareness and focus. And those two words, by making yourself aware of these tips that we're sending out to you and actually practicing them. Practice these tips we're sending out to you. They really, truly make a difference. They make a difference in my life every single day, because I've now become aware of these things. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Let me do that. And it's just, we're not perfect. We don't always remember every single minute, but if we just keep making it more and more aware, they become a habit. And it's so great that pretty soon we just automatically start doing these things. Can you add, we have a couple more minutes. Can you add a little bit to that, Christine?
Oh,
hello.
Sorry. I have a friend with me again. But I agree with you, Patricia. I think that it's using these skills, not just watching the little video, but then going and practicing these skills. That's where our lives change. That's where the rubber meets the road, and we really learn how to improve our lives by using these tips and these skills. We could talk about them all day long, but until we put them into practice, our lives aren't going to change.
Exactly. And I'm going to reiterate this, and it's something I think we talk about all the time, but we need to be made aware of it all the time. We need to understand that, if everything was just really, really simple, and changing our life to be happier was just really, really simple, everybody in the world would be so happy. But if you actually take the time to practice some of these things, because a lot of people just don't even know where to start. What we're doing is giving you steps. We're giving you ideas. We're giving you thoughts. We can take you to the trough, but we can't make you drink. But, and so we want you all to really practice these tips. And this is what we do at Life's Cheerleader. We're giving you thoughts and ideas so that you can practice these things to help change your lifestyle. It makes a huge difference. I know there's been people, again, that sent me and Christine emails saying, thank you so much for doing that, because I feel better. I have a better mindset. I'm feeling happier. I'm feeling more confident. I'm feeling better about my life. And that's what it's all about, is feeling better about your life, knowing that you're not alone and you have support here. This is what's so important.
Yeah.
We're here to support you. So I applaud the people who are doing it, and the ones that, are not, please give it a shot. You're going to be shocked at how much different your life's going to be in 30 to 45 days if you just kind of concentrate on these ideas and tips that we keep sending out to you. And come on in. I know a lot of you come in and send us things, but I also know a lot of people send me emails. But come in and share with others. This is all about sharing and growing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there we go. And look at that, 10:30. Holy cow. So everybody, we're at our 30 minutes, and I'm so excited. We had several people on today, and we had some great questions. So I'm just really happy. I'm looking forward to a fabulous 2016. Anybody that's not a member of Life's Cheerleader right now, I would love to have you come and check us out. It's a great place to start growing and being more confident, happier, and learning to be, finding the formula to happiness. So, is that any last minute words, Christine?
No, I think we're good. Thanks for joining us today, guys, gals. It was really, I had fun. Thanks.
I had fun too. See you guys later. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.